Yo, guess who's back? Back again. Tell a friend. Harper's back. Harper's back. Harper.
Holding gets around in front. Joel Embiid and Philadelphia has it.
Yo, Mark, you like that little rap I had there?
I like that, man. That was good, man.
Back again. Harper's back. I don't even remember. I had it all planned, and then as soon as I clicked go live, I kind of forgot the words I was supposed to be saying there.
No, you did good, man.
I got lots of puns. I could pull out the old Adam Cole wrestling thing and say, "Guess who's back, baby? Harper's back, baby." I got a lot of it.
You're the next Eminem if you keep it up.
Yeah, no, I am definitely not that. Hold on, how does it go? Guess who's back?
Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Okay, so yeah,
dude, we're the two worst rappers ever.
Yeah. I mixed it up a little bit. Yes, we are live here a little early today here on Trending in the AM. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. You know the drill. Like, share, retweet, follow. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. I got a super busy day at the pizza shop. Our special guest today, the goddamn Eagles, had a schedule an 8:30 meeting. So, Mr. Ross Tucker. I don't know, Mark. I'll just say it. You know, I've been communicating with Ross Tucker. We're going to have him on the show soon. But what do you call somebody like Ross Tucker? I can't call him Ross. It doesn't sound formal enough. But Mr. Tucker sounds like my 8th grade history teacher.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm not sure what to call him yet. I'll just say, hey, bud, because I don't know what else to call the guy.
That's what I usually do that when I'm introduced to somebody and then 9 seconds later I forget their name. I call them like, hey, bud, or hey, buddy, what's up? But everybody knows Ross Tucker, so I would call him Ross. I mean, what are you going to Our money. Call him Our Money. I don't know.
There you go. But we're working on it. We will have that rescheduled hopefully sometime next week. We knew, me and him were talking all week, and he didn't know what the Eagles schedule was going to be like for today, but they are busy this morning getting ready for the preseason game tomorrow. He's done the preseason games after tomorrow, so I'm sure he'll have a little bit more free time, and we'll be able to lock down a date for next week, so stay tuned. You know, Ross Tucker will be trending in the AM at some point. So with work going on and everything that was going on, I didn't want to skip today's show. I wanted to jump on early. You guys can watch us on replay later when you normally do if you have to, because I wanted to talk Phillies. I wanted to talk the big Phillies win last night, Aaron Nola, Cy Young worthy performance, complete game shutout, but also the good and the bad news that the Phillies dropped before the game. They kind of gave us like a compliment sandwich, something good, something bad, and something good yesterday afternoon before the game. We got the news that Bryce Harper will be back in the starting lineup tonight. Then they tell us Zach Wheeler is going on the IL, probably going to miss 2 or 3 starts. And then they gave us more good news that, Brandon Marsh will be starting his rehab assignment and might be back Saturday or Sunday in the lineup. So we got some good news, some bad news, some good news, and of course a great win. First, let's dabble in last night's win for a little bit, Mark. Aaron Nola, I don't know how much you got to catch. I got home from my little dinner date halfway through the game, watched the second half of the game. I mean, Aaron Nola, I know it's the Reds, but complete game shutouts just don't happen in baseball anymore. And he just had another one. It's his 3rd one in his career. 3 years in a row he's had one. I mean, that was as dominating of a performance as you can get.
He's awesome. I mean, I think that a lot of fans give him crap. I'm not sure why. We've talked on this show that he's not a number 1. He might even be a number 3, and he's lost it. And it's been several years since his Cy Young chase that he had a few years ago. I think he's been fine all year. And the problem with him and Wheeler is they often do not get the run support that is needed for them to win the game, which makes them look a little bit worse than they actually are. Last night was a perfect recipe for victory. You had the Cincinnati Reds, who are not a good baseball team. You had terrible baseball team, and you had Aaron Nola dealing all night. He only threw, I think, 100 pitches last night. In
101 pitches in 9 innings.
101 pitches, and he struck out 11. He gave up 5 hits, and it was a shutout. That if you see that Nola in the playoffs, you're going to do very well.
I think this is an interesting comment from Aaron here. I hate the labeling of a pitcher. What's a number one? There are obviously only a few real legit number ones in baseball. And I think that's a really fair thing. Look, I was harsh on Aaron Nola before the season. I said I remember going in spring training and going on multiple shows here and talking about his track record of the last couple of years. I remember being very harsh on him. But he's proven this year that he is better than I let him out to be. Is he a one? He might be the one on this team right now. Obviously, Zach Wheeler's been struggling. Obviously, it's because of an arm issue. That's why he's going on the IL. But, Aaron Nola has pitched as well. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you were on the show or Jason was on the show, that should Aaron Nola get more Cy Young consideration than Zach Wheeler this year? And this was before Wheeler struggled when his ERA was like 2.6 or something, because Aaron Nola's good is so much more dominating than Zach Wheeler sometimes. Like, he's had a phenomenal season. His whip is in the top 5 in baseball. He strikes out a ton of batters. His ERA's just hovering. It's 3.07 after last night.
He might be the innings leader in the league too. I'm not sure. I know he's been averaging 7+ innings a start. He's an innings eater.
He's 4th in strikeouts and 4th in whip. He's 20th in ERA. He's 32nd in win-loss, because obviously he doesn't get a hell of a lot of wins. That's all it says on the basic front page here on ESPN. But yeah, it's unfortunate that people like me had to be harsh on Aaron Nola early in the season. I'm willing to admit that I was wrong to an extent there. Last night was just, I don't care if it's the Reds or anybody. It was a phenomenal performance. And my thing is, why is it that certain pitchers struggle to get run support? Do hitters just see like, oh, Aaron Nola's going tonight, we could take the foot off the pedal tonight? Do you really think that's something that floats through people's minds? Well, it's a matter of coincidence that they go cold at the same time all the time.
I think again, going back to that quote unquote number one pitcher, when Nola and Wheeler are pitching, you're typically matched up against the opposition's best pitchers as well. Sure. And, for whatever reason, our bats tend to go cold when that happens, which isn't a good sign, again, going into this playoff race, because you're going to all you're going to see in the playoffs, if we do make it, and I think we will, are your top tier pitchers. So they need to start hitting those pitchers and hitting them early and often, and they have the bats to do it. And I think with Bryce Harper coming back, I think he's going to infuse a lot of electricity into this lineup. Listen, I don't know if you're ready for the segue or not, but like him in AAA rehab start, I've never seen anything like it. I know he's one of the best baseball players out there, but still, the guy's coming off an injury to his hand, and he was just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal in those 2 games that he played, and was critical to the success of the wins of those games. I can't wait for him to join the lineup again, because I think that's what this team has been missing his leadership on the field and hitting. That I remember Steve Carlton, but thank you. But no,
I bumped into him once with the bang.
I met him at a fan fest back in '96. Weird dude, really weird dude. But Harper back in this lineup maybe solves those problems when you do have Nola and Wheeler pitching against their number ones or number twos, and maybe we get a little bit more run support than we've seen.
So I want to talk Harper in a second. I want to get what the lineup's going to look like, the energy that's going to be brought and all. But all this talk that we need Harper back, we need Marsh back, because the bottom end of our lineup is so bad. And what happens last night, you look at the box score, the top 5 guys had 2 combined hits. The bottom 4 guys in the lineup had, 3, 4, 5 of the team's 7 hits came from the bottom of the order. Zimmer, who's basically gone as soon as he might be DFA today as soon as Harper gets or activate it, and went 2 for 3 last night. Sosa, who's going to have minimal playing time down the stretch, 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs last night. I mean, Vierling got a hit, Stubbs got a hit. I mean, kind of hilarious that everyone's excited that our lineup's going to be fixed today and Sunday, and all of a sudden the guys at the bottom of the lineup that aren't going to see the field anymore, all of a sudden they're like, shit, one of us is going to get cut. We all better start hitting. And they're the guys that do all the run production. I love that kind of randomness that baseball brings into the equation sometimes, because you just never know where the offense is going to come from.
Well, you mentioned Stubbs. Stubbs filled in for JT last night. That guy's been phenomenal all year. Yeah, that was a fantastic signing.
Big upgrade over Nappy, isn't it?
A huge upgrade. I mean, look at what he's slashing.
291, 365, 523.
So you're not losing a step by replacing JT for one game. You can always count on this dude to get a hit or two. He's been playing real well, and yeah, the bottom of the lineup has hit. The top of the lineup didn't, but Schwarber hit a home run last night, and it was funny. He hit a home run as I was reading tweets that somebody tweeted out he hasn't homered in 54 at bats, and boom, he hit one of the longest home runs that I've seen at that park. I was probably going to go 500 plus if it didn't hit that wall. It's
being left-handed the devil, Big Ed, just so you know. That's what my aunt used to tell me.
But no, he hit a bomb, dude. It was an absolute bomb, and that's what they need. They need a little bit more of that, and I think they'll feed off of each other, and that's why Bryce is so important to this lineup.
All right, so they complete the 4-game sweep, and they get the good news, the bad news, and the good news. Before we get into the good news, because I want to talk Harper and Marsh, what this lineup should look like now that, let's be honest, everybody's hitting a lot. We've had a really good record, surprisingly, without Bryce Harper in there. But at this point, a lot of these guys, JT Castellanos, Schwarber to an extent with the home run last night, Stott, everybody's hitting better. So, boom, I don't want to leave anybody out. The lineup's going to look there's questions on how to build this lineup now. But first, I want to talk about Zach Wheeler. I hate when I see a really good pitcher pitch bad just to assume he's injured. So I don't assume that. Then he has two bad starts, and look, boom, he's going on the IL. Now they're saying it's just tightness, it's just soreness, it's not. The reports are trying to tell us not to be concerned. He might just miss like 2 starts. Are you concerned that Zach Wheeler is going on the IL? Because you take Zach Wheeler out of this rotation, we got some problems.
Yes and no. Just remember, in the beginning of the season, he was not healthy, and it took a while for him to get caught up to speed. And when he did, he's been rolling fine. I'm curious if since he's had a couple bad starts, that he's got tightness in his shoulder or whatever it is in his arm, that they're going to say, you know what, let's just sit you for a little bit, get your head straight. If there is some tightness, that just rest, and then come September, you're going to be, our guy. So maybe it's, the quote unquote load management in the NBA is maybe what they're doing for Wheeler now, because it did come out of nowhere, man.
It came completely out of nowhere. And look, so it was retroactive to his last start, which was the 22nd. So if my math is correct, that puts him at September 5th or 6th that he can come back. We're in the stretch of really easy games anyway. You would think with Harper back in the energy, like tonight, he was scheduled to go tonight. Bradley Falter goes tonight. You would think with the energy of Bryce Harper being back, it's the Pirates, et cetera, that we could win a Falter start tonight. And Falter's had a few good starts. He's had a few bad starts, but he's had a few good starts as well mixed in there. I think what you're saying there, maybe that's a really good theory and thread that, yeah, he's just, give him a little load management type of blow right now. So that maybe,
and we do have the Pirates coming up, which is another team that's not pretty, and they're not good. Honestly, they have a chance.
It might be worse than the Reds. Honestly, I ain't gonna lie.
And listen, we got a chance to sweep another team, and that would be 7 straight, and that would be. We're 15 games over 500. I don't know when we were 15 games over 500 this late in the season.
So basically, Wheeler will miss the Pittsburgh series, the Arizona series, and the San Fran series. I would like to have him back at the end of that San Fran series, but probably not. So he's missing tonight's start. His next slot is the Wednesday start against Arizona, and they haven't. Then they stopped writing out the rotation after that. So they're hoping he's back for that Marlins series September 6th, where he'll slot into the rotation. Who knows? But if it's just soreness, he's just tired. He just needs a little bit of a blow. I'm all for it because come end of September, come October, you're going to need Zach Wheeler in there in that 1 or 2 spot. With what's going on, with how he's pitched, lately, having arm problems, the way Nola's pitched lately, would you start Aaron Nola game 1 over Zach Wheeler? Or because of their namesake, what they're paid, how the season as a whole is gone, do you still start Zach Wheeler 1 and Aaron Nola 2 in that first playoff series?
I think you put the money aside, and whoever your best pitcher is right now, it is Aaron Nola. He would go, and I would pitch it in a long series. I would be pitching him on short rest as well. So he's my guy. That's no disrespect to Wheeler, because I'm going to need Wheeler 1A, but Nola has been the better pitcher. Pitching stats, you used to go by wins and losses, and it's just not about wins and losses anymore.
I'm going to throw one little bit of negativity out here.
Go ahead.
I hope there's nothing wrong with Aaron Nola. And I watched the end of the game last night like 2 or 3 times on replay. After he makes the last out and he's walking back to the mound to do the handshakes after the game, he does like a little bit of this a couple times. Like something was bothering him. It could have just been he was exhausted. It was hot out there last night, whatnot. But I'm just going to leave that little. If you see something,
you're negative Nancy, Phil.
I'm just saying. I just saw facial. I'm a body language guy, and I saw some body language. I didn't see it at all through any pitch, but after he caught that last ground ball back to the mound, flicked it to first base, I saw a facial expression. Go back and watch the last play of the game and what he does when he walks to the mound. He makes it, and then as he's high-fiving guys, at one point he makes that grimace again. I'm hoping he was just tired. Just keep that in the back of your mind. I'll me at 7:49 on Friday here. So when this news breaks, I'm the one that gets credit for it. Let's Go to the Phone gets their credit for all their breaking news all the time. I want to get credit that I saw it before it happened. Just so you know.
And I'll say this: the guy has threw 101 90-mile-an-hour pitches over the course of 2+ hours. When he's done, he goes into that locker. Whoa, my alarm went off. Sorry, dude.
Time to wake up.
Yeah, time to wake up, brother.
Are you walking right now?
Yeah. No, so I mean, he goes after that game. He goes back in that clubhouse, and they wrap his arm up in ice, in the shoulder, in the elbow. So I don't. I think you're reading a little too much into it, and I think
I probably am. I'm just saying. I wanted to put what I saw out there so people know I saw something. Maybe you guys can go back and look. People that are good at editing videos could go back and try to find it. I don't know, but just want to throw that out. All right, let's get to the positive. Let's get off the negative. Bryce Harper's back, baby.
Is he definitely back tonight? He's definitely in lineup tonight?
Said yesterday he is going to be activated today and in the starting lineup today, obviously as the DH. That's why they gave Castellanos a little chance at DH last night, give him a little bit of a break in the field, and notice his hit streak ends. They gave JT a break last night. They gave Bohm a break last night. They can roll out what their lineup is going to be, except for Brandon Marsh in center field tonight. So now that Harper's back, you've got 6-7 guys that are hitting lights out in this lineup. What should we do with this lineup? And we started talking about it a couple days ago, me and Dylan on this show. And I've thought about it a bunch of times. I've tweeted out different things. I keep thinking about it. I keep replaying what it should be in my mind. But I think I've come to a pretty good understanding of what I think the lineup should be. I'm trying to page through Twitter here. I tweeted it out yesterday, my final thoughts on what the lineup should be. Man, I tweet way too much. Shout out to 12's Grill in West Grove, man. Had a fantastic dinner last night. The wife and I, we've had a long week or so. They do once a month this place in West Grove by my house. They do Buckashuck Oyster Night, and they're a really nice, semi-fancy restaurant.
Dude, you house those oysters, dude.
we ordered. You have to pre-tell them approximately how many you're going to get so that they can reserve them for you.
No
On
kidding.
that oyster night. So we're like, all right, pre-reserve 36 for us, dude. I had about 18 oysters last night. They were perfect. I like a little bit smaller and a little horseradish on them, slurping them down. We shared a burger. They make great. They make their they get locally grown beef and they hand do their burgers and stuff like that. Effing amazing meal. Effing amazing meal last night. So shout out to them. But I had to pay through all my tweets from that. So here's my Phillies line.
I had Red Baron pizza last night that was frozen. I'm glad you had a nice meal.
Pathetic, dude. I know you're unemployed today, but that's all you can afford now?
I am. I am unemployed until Monday. Thank you for pointing that out.
You're a pizza shop and you're eating frozen pizza? What the hell is wrong with you?
I know. It's a very shame. I'm shamed.
You should be ashamed. All right, so this is my lineup tonight. If I'm writing the scorecard, okay, or the card out, okay, I write it out, and you can bounce it around a bunch of different ways. I put 2 different ideas down here. So Schwarber 1, Bohm 2, Harper 3. Then we go 4, 5, 6. JT, Castellanos, Stott. 7, I'm putting Hoskins. 8, whoever's in center field, and 9, Segura. That's option 1. What are your thoughts on option 1? Because I got an option 2 as well.
I think you're nuts, dude. You're going to bat Hoskins 7?
Absolutely.
What about Stott leading off? I've seen a couple tweets on that.
Yeah. Well, so I believe that the 9 hole is just as important as the 1 hole. Because after the first inning, how many times do your leadoff hitter actually lead off? And if you're going to leave Schwarber, which I think everybody in Phillies organization is leaving Schwarber there. I don't think he gets pulled from that leadoff spot. So I've got a second option. And you don't like Hoskins in 7. That's fine. So option 2, the top 5 are the same. Schwarber, Bohm, Harper, JT, Castellanos. Then in the 6 hole, you put Hoskins. You bump Segura from 9 up to 7. You leave center field, your worst hitter, in that 8 hole. And then you bat Stott in the 9 hole. So he's there to turn it over constantly for the top of the order. I firmly believe that the 9 hole, when you have the DH, is as important, if not, it's almost on par with that 1 spot. It is super, super important spot in the lineup. I think you put your worst hitter in the 8 hole, and you put a really good on-base guy in that 9 hole, in my opinion. So that's the other option that I got. You bump Hoskins up to 6, Gore 7, and you put – I hate Stott 9 because he's so good and he's been hitting the ball so well. But if I value that 9 spot, then that's what I do. That's why in the first lineup I had Segura in the 9 hole, because Segura gets on a base a lot. You know what I mean? So I want those guys getting on base in that 9 hole.
Yeah, Segura does get on base, but Schwarber, as low as he's hitting, dude, I think he leads the team in walks. I think he's got like 63 walks or something like that. I mean, he gets on base. It's just his power. Every time he hits a home run, it's a solo shot. So I like for him to hit one with a couple guys on base. Now, with Stott batting 9th, once they go through the lineup, then I think you have obviously a better chance of doing that. But if Stott is swinging such a hot bat, you want him to get that extra at bat. That's why you would bat him first, because he would get that extra at bat in the lineup. I think going forward,
let's backtrack there. If you put Stott in the 1 hole, then what do you do with the rest of the lineup, though?
I don't know, dude. I'm not a baseball manager, but no, it sucks because this goes back to how the roster was constructed before the season even started. They signed a bunch of what you would think is 3, 4, 5 hitters, and they don't have any 1, 2 hitters on here.
I said it. I don't know if you caught it or you were on the show. I said it during when Schwarber was out, that Stott might be the leadoff hitter of the future of this team. I could see them going into next season when they revamp this squad a little bit, with Bryce Stott coming into next year as the leadoff hitter. Because I think they make adjustments to this team, whether they go out and get Trey Turner or whoever's going to play second base. And there's going to be differences on this team next year. I could see them groom Stott in the offseason and in training camp and in spring training to be the future leadoff hitter of this team. I definitely think he's got it in him.
I think what is he batting? Like 226 or 223?
He's got his average up quite a bit. I got to pull up last night's box score again.
You got to remember, he was batting like 150, 160
for 25 at one point.
Yeah,
he's at 229. His on-base percentage is up to 290, and his slugging is at 363. So his OPS, that would be 653.
Dude, he's come a long way.
He was hitting when he got demoted. His OPS was under 300. That's how bad he was. Since he's been called up, he's got something like a 1.09 OPS in in intense situations and stuff like that. I mean, the guy is clutch as can be. He will be a leadoff hitter if he wants to. He could be a 3-hole hitter, honestly, potentially down the line too. He's got that kind of confidence and potential. That's what I love about Bryson Stott, is his confidence and swagger. He didn't let that bad stretch and getting demoted affect him. He took the demotion like a man, like a champ, came back up, manned up, said, "Yo, all right, I'm ready to go now." And look at him since. He's done fantastic work.
Him and Bone have been nice surprises this year, and they are the future of the Phillies, if you ask me. They really are. I was looking at the lineup. The bulk of our lineup and our team are 29, 30, 31, 32 years old. I've been banging the drum for, having our farm kind of replace those pieces and whatnot. And Bohm is one of them. Stott is another. Obviously Hoskins is from the farm, but he's 29 years old. I'm not saying that's old. I mean, because you can play into your late 30s, early 40s even, and be really productive. Yeah. But
Albert Pujols, all of a sudden Albert Pujols is chasing down 700 home runs now.
Yeah, I hope he gets to 700. I really do. It's a real good story.
I hope he comes back next year for an extra month or two if he doesn't, just to get to that 700. It would be nice to see. He deserves it. So here's a final question. Harper's back. The excitement. The city is going to be electric tonight. On ESPN.com, capacity for Citizens Bank Park is listed at 43,651 fans. Yesterday's game had 21,123. They're at 48%. There's been a lot of talk about the empty stadium. Over under 40,000 fans near capacity tonight for Bryce Harper's return. It's a Pirates, so that's why I didn't set it at a sellout, because it is the Pirate. Right. But it's going to be a nice Friday night. You're getting towards the end of the summer. Monday, school starts for a lot of people. Friday night, end of August. Bryce Harper's back, baby. Over under 40,000 fans tonight at the park.
I would say under, but not by much. I think it would be like a 38, 39,000. I think it really jumps. I think people have been waiting for Bryce to come back. And let's be honest, he sold a lot of tickets for
Lehigh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. My buddy lives in that area, and he said that place has been absolutely wild with him in town. And you couldn't.
Your buddy, the one that gave you the notes that he was at the strip club?
Yeah, I think he was full of shit, but because I think something would have came out already. But and I don't think that was Bryce is a Mormon, and he doesn't drink or smoke or anything like that. But hey, man, if he did take the guys out to the strip club, more power to him. But
what was it when Max Scherzer was on the down and doing his rehab assignment? He bought everybody stuff, took them out to dinner. It's nice for those big time. I mean, those big time players, they know it's like in the minor league system. Most of those guys don't make money. Obviously, there's still an issue in baseball in the minor leagues with money and funding and how they live and stuff like that. Some of those guys make $15,000-$20,000 a year. So when a big name guy is down there rehabbing, it's not expected, but it's really nice of them to spread some of that love around to those guys that are chasing their dream.
So that's something that I've learned for the first time this year, is that when guys like Harper and Sheezer are on like rehab assignments, they're more or less expected to treat them to a nice meal before they come back up, at the very least. Unless you're Chris Sale and then you destroy the clubhouse and then you got to pay to have it remodeled. But so that's something that I learned. And if that's what those guys do, more power to them. And I think that's a nice way of
expected is like they upgrade catering for one day from, because I know Scherzer had, I think I read an article that the last day that Scherzer was down there rehabbing, he spent like $12,000 to upgrade catering for the day. But then he also went out and bought them all new AirPods or whatever the earbud thingies are.
Yeah.
Bought them all different things. I've seen stories where, they've bought them all Xboxes and things like that or whatever going on. And that's That's really, really generous. It's unnecessary, but it's really generous of them to do that. And I think they know they were all down in the minors at some point. They know what it's like to be down there and grinding for that dream. So that's cool. I think they hit just barely over 40,000 tonight. I think they come close to touching 41,000 fans in that park tonight. And depending on what StubHub tickets are at the last second, you might see a sellout. You might see that Ashburn Alley and standing room only packed pictures tonight of that crowd because, hey, like I said, Harper's back. Tell a friend.
Well, let's do a beer bet. If they're over 40, I got you. If under, you got to hook me up, brother.
I got you. I got you on that. Real quick, because I wanted to keep this a pretty short show today because I got to get to work here. We joked at the beginning they got a chance to sweep the Pirates down, going 7 in a row. Do they come out with that electric crowd tonight, get the win to start, heading in that direction of the sweep tonight? You've got Falter going tonight, and I closed it out already. Let me brief bring it up. Who's this guy going for the Pirates tonight? Bryce Wilson going tonight. Right-handed pitcher with a 5.74 ERA, a 1.44 WHIP. Do they get the win tonight?
Sometimes they struggle against these putrid pitchers.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
And do they get overhyped with Harper coming back? I say they're going to win tonight, and they'll probably take 2 or 3 this weekend. They definitely win the series. I think if they sweep, they're really set to go into September super hot. And if you looked at some of the ESPN rankings, they got the Phillies like the 7th best team in MLB right now. And they are on fire. They really are on fire. They're just overshadowed by some of these other teams like the Dodgers and the Mets and the Yankees that are just otherworldly right now. But
talk about it. It's all about timing. The Phillies are just having bad timing with their run. I joked that 16-6 during this easy stretch, and they're already 4-0 in this stretch. It means they got to go 12-6 the rest of the way. And that would put them like at 22, 23 games over 500. That's a 92 win pace, 93 win pace. Unfortunately, the Braves, the Mets, are just, and the Dodgers are just so damn good that it's bad timing for the Phillies right now.
And guess what? The Braves are catching up to the Mets.
They are.
They're starting to shave that lead down.
It's so frustrating because if we would have won a few of those games against the Mets, things would be looking a little different as well.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to catch those guys as much as I would like. But Phil, my preseason prediction of 92 wins is very much in play right now. So I'd love if they can get to that 90 win mark. I think you got to say the season is a success, especially if they fire their coach midway. They got Harper out for an extended period. Obviously, if they make the playoffs, I think this is a successful season. I don't care what you say. I know there's people out there that are still curmudgeons. This has been a really good season, and I think they can do some damage in the playoffs if they make it.
All right. Well, I got the Phillies going and getting the sweep this weekend. Why not? Let's get that 7-game winning streak going. I see it happening. The electricity is going to be there. 40,000 plus tonight, maybe 40,000 plus tomorrow. Sunday, maybe not. We'll see what the weather's like on Sunday. But I'm going to go. Last night I said 11-0, and they won 4-0. I got the nothing part right. I'm going to go. Bryce Harper goes 0 for tonight, but the Phillies win. I'm going to say 8-2 tonight, and Bryce Harper sadly goes. I don't know why I'm saying that because he just tore it up in AAA. But the excitement's going to be there. He's going to be pressing. He's going to hit that first pitch he sees, and he's going to pop it up to second base or something like that.
I think they win 6-4 tonight. I think Bryce Harper has a double. How's that?
All right, I like it. All right, we're going to wrap this early edition of Trending the AM up. Trending the AM extra early. Hey, someday when we get sponsors here, we might be starting at 7:30 every day and going 2 hours. So hit us up if you want to sponsor this show because I would love to make a few pennies, and do 2 hours every single day. But I got to run to the pizza shop. I got lots on the agenda today. Mark's going to enjoy his last day of unemployment, or his first day and his last day of unemployment till he starts his new job. Thanks for jumping on this morning with me, Mark. Again, if you're watching this show on a replay, which most are because nobody knew we were starting early. I didn't even know we were starting early till 7:15. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for me, and Share this out to everybody if you're following on the other social media platforms. I'm Phil Steifel. I'll be back Monday, Overreaction Monday, for Mark Moscatelli. Everybody have a great day. Everybody have a great weekend. And again, guess who's back?
Harper's back.
Harper's back. Tell a friend. I keep messing it up. I literally, Mark, I planned this out like for 10 minutes before the show started. I had it down. Guess who's back? Back again. Harper's back. Tell a friend.
And Philadelphia has it.